Well, we started off with a really pretty morning. Sun was shining, and I thought this is going to be a good day. I might even get to go over to farmer's market and get some fresh corn. I haven't bought any yet, partly because I don't want to eat that much corn because it just doesn't work for me, and it's sweet and got too much sugar in it, and I'm trying to avoid corn this year, but it's going to be hard to do. I saw as the day came on, it started getting a little bit gloomy. Now it's rain, but I woke up during the night. I have never seen that much lightning that I can recall. It kept on going and going. And you know, the funny thing is, I didn't really realize this, but you can see the lightning with your eyes closed. I could tell when it was flashing. And I'd never noticed that before. Not that that's any big deal. Okay, let's see. Got the sniffles here. Okay. I decided I wanted to make a certain recipe. I remembered a lady I used to work with. She made this wonderful Oreo cookie recipe, and I had a big package of Oreo cookies, and I said, now's the time to use them. I've got to find that recipe. So I went to the kitchen. I've got a drawer where I keep small cookbooks, you know, the little one about this size. And I've got them stacked in there. So I start going through there, pulling out this one and that one. And I thought I'd just show you a few of them. For instance, I used to buy the Pillsbury Bake Off little cookbook every year when they had the contest. You know, if you're my age, you remember the Pillsbury Bake Off. And one of them was about 1959 book. It had a recipe for lemon cloud pie. I wasn't much for making pies, but my husband liked lemon pie, and I thought, well, I'll give it a try. I'm going to tell you this. That's one of the best pies I've ever made or ever eaten. You put the lemon in the crust. It gave it a golden look. It was such a pretty crust. And then you put the lemon in the pie itself. So it was in that book. I thought, sure, in these little books I've got here, I would find that one. Well, it's not there. This one is a 1951 book. They go on up to, to 2004. Those are the books I have right now. I've given away a lot of cookbooks because I just reached the point, why am I keeping them? I don't use them. But just as soon as you do that, you wish you had them back, and you know what I'm talking about there. So those were the little Pillsbury Bake Off books. They were about $2.99, $3.99 each then. I would guess now they're at least $10. Now here's a little one I found. I love this little book. This is Baker's Chocolate. Don't you just love the picture of that lady on the cover? Isn't that beautiful? This little book is all chocolate cocoa recipes. It's got a lot of pictures in it of candy, cookies, cakes. Look at this. If you like chocolate, you'll sure be tempted by what's in this tiny book. Now, I don't remember how old it is, but it is a very old little book. I thought sure I had looked it up. I tried to get the dates if I can, but I wanted you to see this little, it's not really a cookbook, it's a candy making and cookie making book. It's all chocolate, baker's chocolate. You remember baker's chocolate, I'm sure. Now while I was looking, I ran across a couple of little calendars. You know, some people collect calendars. Jan's got a few in her booth at the antique mall, and one of hers, I forgot how old it was, very old, but it's just a beautiful calendar. She had two of them hanging on the wall. Well, I ran across two in my drawer. This one is so cute. It's 1980. See how cute that is? Simon's Simple Cookbook Calendar. Well, here's the page for January. There's your January calendar. And up here, I'll have to read what it says. How to boil water. We all need to know that, don't we? The nitty-gritty. Put water in a pan. Put the pan on the stove and turn on the burner. When it starts bubbling, it's boiling. I did promise to tell you, if you're in a hurry, start with hot water from the tap and cover the pan. Now that's good advice, you'll have to admit. We can all use that advice. And it says, why boil water? And it gives you reasons for that. What to boil water in and other equipment to have. Day 1, necessities. It goes on and on. Well, I just got the biggest kick out of this, and I turned to the front page, and it had a little note. You remember me telling you the story about my friend Blessing and Mabel, how we used to take little short trips together, and Blessing was the one that always wanted to stop in jewelry department and look at the gold chain. She had to try on the gold chain. And we were in the store, and Mabel walked up, and Blessing said, well, what do you think about this one? Mabel, and with her dry humor, says, Blessing, what difference does it make which one you buy? It's just going to get lost in the wrinkles of your neck. Well, you have to be there. You have to experience it. That's one of those things that can be hilarious, and it was that day. And she says, Pat, Happy New Year. Hang this in your kitchen. Then you can boil water. It tells you how. She's gone now, just like my sister, Mabel. They're all gone. But I wouldn't part with this. It's so cute. Here's the other calendar. Now this calendar, you've seen this picture before. It's a very famous picture. And this was the drive-in prescription shop. And I believe it was in Corbin. Now, it doesn't have a date on it, but you can date it by the phone number. Phone 131. Do you remember when the phone numbers were 3 and 4 numbers? And that was it? I do. Our telephone number was 904W. This one is 131. Now, I really like this calendar, too. It's got a recipe for each month. Here we go. Oh, and all of these spices it shows you. So this is a 1963 calendar. There's such a sentimental thing about these old calendars and all of the pictures. Oh my God. Country style apple pie. I wouldn't mind having that right now. So, I just thought I'd show those little things to you. I've got another book here. I used to have a collection of these, and this is one of those things I let go of. Should never have done it. I don't know the date. Yes, I do. It's right here. This is an American cookery book. I want to show you the front cover because it's come loose, and I want to show you what the cover looked like. These were the best little books. They have stories and recipes and anything you want to know. Very informative, very interesting. But here's the cover. American Cookery. The Boston Cooking School magazine. Get a good look at that. And I used to have about a dozen of these. And they've got such wonderful stories, interesting stories. I just opened the book, and the first thing I came to was a story, an old food. You want to know what one of the oldest foods known to man? It's in the Bible, 43rd chapter of Genesis, which relate to the famine of that period in the land of Canaan. It was evidently highly esteemed among the people of Bible times, and except for fruit sugars, was the only sweet known to medieval Europe. You know what it was? Of course you do. It was honey. Honey was brought in by the Romans. Some people don't know that. I guess we just take some of those things for granted. But anyway, I didn't read the whole story, but I know it is a good story. And it's one that anyone would be interested in reading. And what I like about this book is it's got pictures of the interior of houses. Oh, those old kitchens with the stoves on legs and the furniture. So delightful. It makes me want to live in one of those houses. Here's one that says, a moderately priced country home with a studio living room. Well, I want you to see this moderately priced home in 1932. That's 20 windows across the front of the house. Pretty nice, wouldn't you say, for a moderately priced home? But there's so many things in these books. And when you see the product that they advertise, you think, oh my gosh, I'd forgotten all about those things. So anyway, that's just one other little book. Let's see if I've got any more over here that I need you to see. Oh, let's go to this one. This one is home cooking. See it? Can you see at the bottom? Favorites, what does it say? Can't read it backwards. Favorites and specialties of the Rowlett family. The Rowlett family is my mother's family. She was a Rowlett. This book was dedicated to her. It was put out by all the aunts, uncles, and cousins, and brought to family reunion. And that year, it was dedicated to my mother because she was the last of her line, her generation. She was the oldest. All were gone. She was the only one left. So she was the matriarch of the family reunion from then on, and they didn't last much longer. But anyway, this is their cookbook. Now I've got 2 or 3 recipes in here too. My mother's recipes are in here, and my sister's recipes are in here. So it's a nice family collector's book. Now the books I really want to get to, we're all collecting nowadays. Everybody's collecting something. And I have a stack of reference books. Now those reference books weren't cheap. This one I'm going to show you first. I put the date inside, 1989. You know I collect Fiesta. Just look behind me. See it on the shelves? There's some of my Fiesta. This book I've had since 1989. I've got another one. Now, the nice thing about these books, they're reference books. They tell you all about the dishes, the item, the vintage thing, the dates, how many were made, what colors they were. But you don't want to look in these books and expect to see the value of the china and crystal and things, because that's not what this book is good for. It's good for telling you what you're looking at. It's good for identifying this little handled teapot. It's good for identifying this little lazy Susan. Jan went to an estate sale once, and she said sitting on the table was a Fiesta ware. Now these are the old items. We're talking about the 30s through the 50s and 60s. On the table was a little lazy Susan carousel here, like this. Now that's something you just are not going to find. If you do, 1 or 2 pieces will be missing. Would you believe that a woman picked it up? She picked it up to look on the bottom and went like this. Can you believe? She turned it up, and all of those dishes fell to the floor and broke. I didn't think any woman could be that stupid, but obviously there's still 1 or 2 around. Another book. Let's see, I've got several here, and I've got even more, but you never get rid of these books because you're always seeing something, buying something, finding something, and you're wondering about it. Look at this one. Kitchen gadgets. I showed you my kitchen gadgets one day. See these things? I showed you one of those. Showed you this. And these things with the handles back here, I don't remember what they are. But I don't know what this is either. Oh, and I showed you this. See this right here? I've got one just like it. So, it shows you those old-fashioned kitchens. If you don't like them, then you're just kind of out of my category. But all those pretty pictures, and you get over here, and they start identifying, well, I can't. You get to see all of these objects, page after page. You're going to see and wonder what they are, and sometimes you look at something, you say, my mother had one of those. Look at the juicers. I never had a juicer, but I always wanted one, and when I asked myself, why do you want one, you'd never fix anything with it. So I guess that just took care of that. Lots of different kinds of knives. Potato mashers. I showed you both of these potato mashers in my collection. See them? Yeah, you can see them. I had both of those. Kind of nice when you see your own product. Oh, look at these. Have every one of these. They're potato mashers. Isn't that interesting? And it's such a thrill when you can look through these books and know you have one of those. Oh my. Yes, all of these spoons and all of these turners. If you don't have anything else to do and you just get so bored, you think, I'm going to go up on the roof and jump off if something good doesn't come along for me to entertain me. These books will keep you entertained, I guarantee it, if you like old things, vintage product. Here we go with depression glass. Yeah. I don't know what year this book is. I'm going to look, see if there's anything here that I want to show you. Oh, goodness. I love the pink dishes. Thought I might run across something here that I have. And I know there is something in here that I have, because I've seen it. Just not turning to the right page. What to do with the one? Okay, let's see what else we've got. I'm just flipping pages. But if you've got a certain pattern made by a certain company like Jeanette and all of these other, see, you can go through and you can find your item. You can identify it if you don't know what it is. And of course, this book, if I knew the date on it, they are quoting prices at that time. Have no idea what these things might cost if you found them today. But this is my just one of my depression glass dish books. Here's a Hall china. The Hall china. There you see autumn leaf. Here we go. Here's a little example. The autumn leaf thing. I've got some of these pieces. This is when the jewel tea man would come to the house, and you'd sit in the kitchen, watch Mama go through his products, his flavorings, his lotions, his whatever. I don't know what else he sold, but anyway, you got to look at all of the pretty dishes. And Mama bought a few of the jewel tea pieces. Oh, here's a bunch of them. These are the nice ones. See those? I don't have any of those pieces. So just to give you an idea, that's part of the Hall china. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is a little bit special. You know already that I collect Fostoria American. I haven't been collecting it too long. It's a beautiful crystal. My older sister, she collected it back in the 50s. You can go on Facebook every day now and you're going to see a picture of a piece of Fostoria American. Somebody wants to know, what is this called? What's it worth? Well, the experts are not going to tell you what it's worth because there's no way of knowing. Because you can find it even in Goodwill, thrift shops, antique shops, estate sales, and you might pick up a piece for 50 cents and somewhere else it's going to cost $18. That's the chance you take. So I do a lot of looking, and I'm careful about how much I am willing to spend, because these things, to me, they're a fun thing. There's something I enjoy doing and seeing, and I like decorating with them, but I don't like them well enough to spend a lot of money on them when they're going to serve no purpose except to sit on a shelf and be looked at. If I can get them at a bargain, yes, I'm a bargain hunter. Well, I never could afford them. Even back when I was younger, I never had these things because I couldn't buy them. Now I can have them, but I still like the hunt. I still like knowing, how much I paid for this. The beautiful punch bowl that Jan gave me, she didn't pay very much for that. But if you get to looking at the prices that they go for, pretty high. So, I'm going to put it this way. If I don't get to use this Fostoria very much, and I never get to use this big, beautiful punch bowl that she gave me, I'm telling you this. When they lay me out, and all of my friends are coming to my celebration of life, you're going to be drinking punch out of my big Fostoria American punch bowl. That's a fact. Jan will have that in writing. So plan on being there. Just so much for that. But what I'm leading up to with this story about Fostoria American is this. You see this book? Let me move something off my screen. It popped up. Okay, now. You see this book? We have a mail room downstairs. FedEx, UPS brings lots of packages. There are always packages in there. I never look to see if I've got a package because I know I don't have, because I don't order things by mail, and I don't expect to see anything on a table with my name on it. But last night, I opened my front door, and sitting at the foot of the door, next to the door facing, was a package. Someone had picked it up in the mail room and brought it up and put it by my door. They do that often when they see someone has a package. They just bring it to their door. Well, who in the world was sending me a package? No return address. I couldn't wait to get in the house. Like to never got that plastic envelope ripped off of that heavy, I could tell it was a book, that heavy book. And when I opened it, this is what it was. Now, you know who you are. I have no idea, not even a clue, which one of you sent me this book. How did you know that in the back of my mind I was saying, I wish I had the Fostoria American reference book? I've got all of these pieces, and some of them, I don't know what they are. I wish I had the Fostoria American book. And folks, now I've got it. And whoever you are, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I wouldn't mind if you'd tell me who you are. Because this is just one of the sweetest things anybody has ever done for me. I've never been the kind of person who receives gifts. I'm the kind of person who gives gifts. Always giving somebody something. And it used to bother me that nobody ever gave me gifts. Somebody just gave me one of the nicest gifts I've ever had right here. And you're going to make me cry. Thank you so much. And please kind of give me a hint. I want to know who you are, because this is so thoughtful. And I've already skimmed through every page of this book at midnight last night. I was going through the book and picking up my Fostoria pieces and saying, is this that piece? Is this that piece? Oh, here it is. Here it is on this page. I'll show you one page. One of the first pages I opened to, and I thought, oh my gosh. They've got it lined up just like I had mine. See my glasses? See those glasses? I've got all three of those glasses. The little one right here, I call it a cordial. The other is a tall stem sherbet dish. The tallest one they call a tumbler, but I call it a water glass. You can put anything you want to in it, but my description is water glass. And my description of this, it might be a little wine glass, I'm not sure. I have to look that up. But I call it a cordial, and I love drinking cordials for luncheons and things. And whenever I have my next luncheon, everybody's going to be drinking something out of one of my Fostoria glasses. That's all I've got for you today. And thank you so much. You do make my day. You really make my day. It's amazing how my life has changed since I can turn on my iPad, I can click on a button, and somebody's talking to me, just me. And they're saying nice things, so complimentary. And I get a lot of good information too. Yeah, I'm not the smartest thing in the world or the sharpest kid on the block. I'm here to learn too. And I'm here to talk. Talking is the one thing I do best. May not say anything you want to hear, but you know how to turn me off. So stay with me. And thank you for the Fostoria book. It will go with my collection. It's not going to leave this house until I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you.